Welcome back to another episode of the Burn Factory podcast.
I find boxing, I walked there the next day and said, I'm never going to stop. I got to go to church if I want God to help me.
That's right.
I want God to make me a superstar.
I know I made it when they go, that's Fernando Vargas' dad.
Look, we all have a little bit to add and to give to the sport, but one thing about us is they won't destroy us.
It's just a blessing to have brothers in the sport. It's a blessing to have my father, and just God is good, man.
I'm walking to the gym 3 miles one way, 3 miles another way, an hour one way, an hour another way, walking home in the dark with my bag, and I said, if anybody tries to get me, I'm going to kill him. You know, and I have nobody to support me. Now, when I'm living with my kids, that what they're doing, you know, I don't want them to fight. I don't want them to fight. And I put them in everything but boxing. Basketball, my boys are hoopers. The athleticism in the Vargas blood is crazy. Because my dad, what I knew of him, you know, because it was never really part of my life, he could play soccer. But, you know, these guys, you know, footballs, they were MVPs. They were always, you know, if they didn't score 3 touchdowns a game, each of them, it wasn't a game. And it was for sure 3 touchdowns minimum. They would score each game. And so now that I'm living through my kids' eyes, it's a blessing for me. You know, I don't want my kids to fight. My compadre said it like this: "Champ, you don't want your kids to fight?" I said no, and he goes, "Okay, who's gonna tell your kids they gotta be like their dad? Because I'm not gonna tell them."
That's right.
So what are you gonna say then? Yeah. I said, "Damn, I never heard it like that." So guess what? You know, I'm here to support them 110%. Wherever they're going, I've already been there.
Yeah. Did your father ever want you to fight?
Well, my dad was not part of my life, but you know, no, so you know, my dad died. My biological father died. I don't know, a few years ago. I don't even remember. It's like, you know, you knowing that you knew like a family member, but you were never part of their life. It's just, oh, that's your cousin. That's how I feel about my dad. You know, and so he passed away. And you know what? God put me there in TJ where he was passed away, where he passed away, and I kind of wrestled with the fact of me going or not going to the funeral, and so I ended up going. I ended up saying, you know, hey man, you know, I forgive you, and I hope they made amends with the Lord. And I had to watch her, and that was it, and that's all she wrote. And so, you know, when I'm living with my boys, this is amazing. All of them are very talented, very charismatic too. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, you know, they don't even have to fight. They could be
Basketball
underwear models.
Something.
They can do basketball.
They can play basketball.
I'll be a little taller for that, but we could choose to do anything else, but can't help it. We're around it so much.
That's right.
So for you guys, like what led you to boxing? Because as you said, he put you in all kinds of sports, football, basketball, but what was that like desire that told you that you guys wanted to box?
Go
You
ahead,
start
bro.
with the youngest.
Yeah, well, I mean,
It all started because of that.
yeah,
man.
no, we moved to Vegas. And you know, I was the chubby kid, just like to eat, and I still do, but just after the fight.
Yeah.
But the thing was, my dad took me to some amateur fights, amateur or pro.
Amateur.
They were amateur fights, and I was infatuated with it, like whoa, like these guys my age are fighting, you know, they're winning trophies. I just thought it was cool. I thought it was cool, you know, and especially now is kind of, you understand boxing as kind of a gladiator moment. You know, it's modern day gladiating. You know, I go in there, the guy across from me wants to kill me. Truly, he wants to take my health away. Yeah. So, any position that we're in like that, it excites me. I know it excites them because look, there's nothing better than, it's an ego thing too. You know?
Yeah.
Like I'm better than you. You know, and I'm gonna show the world that I'm a better fighter. I'm a better.
Mano.
It's what it is. What it is. But besides the point, you know, we went to go see some amateur fights, And I told my dad it was the weekend. I said, Dad, I want to box. You know, fat chubby kid that just like to eat, and you know, that's it, bro. And you know, my dad hearing that, you know, he thought that I was gonna forget. He told me that, all right, come Monday, you let me know after school, I'll take you. So.
No, I said, no, you don't. You don't want to box.
Same, whatever, same thing. Yeah. But come Monday, I let him know, hey, are we going to the gym? And you know, that's all she wrote. I had my first amateur fight, fell in love with it, and first national championship, fell in love with it more. 7 national championships after that. For the USA team, wow. 140 amateur fights, 10 losses. You know, it's just. I put in work in the amateurs, you know what I'm saying? I just fell in love with it. I love to win, and I think that's something between all of us that we just love to win.
That's why my Pops kids is real emotional with the accolades because they earned that. You know what I'm saying? So when you got my brother that started real young and built that stuff, it's not personal. It's just kind of like I earned that. You know, Pops just joined the Hall of Fame.
He did that by himself.
Yeah, he did.
And look, because I had the support. You know, whatever tournament I wanted to go to, I went to. Any tournament I wanted to go to, I went to. And most of the time, it wasn't like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Giving me stories where he
was sleeping in a van.
Yeah. And
with
fighting
Robert Garcia.
and whooping everybody's ass. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, look, that's definitely a different level to it. And I appreciate it, and I appreciate everybody. It's a different respect,
that's
you
right.
know, for anybody who comes from that to make it.
Yep.
Because look, I tell my brothers all the time, if we really don't make it, when we have a 3-time world champion in our corner, we have 2 parents that love us dearly, that support us in anything that we do, and we really don't make it, and we have endless support, and we have endless support of not just my dad's fans, but you know, now they're becoming our fans, and you know, we're doing pretty good on social media, and we're knocking these dudes out, and we already have the exposure that these world champions, some of them don't even have. They got like 2,000 followers. They're world champions, bro.
World champions.
But that's just the day and age we live in today. It's like you gotta show the world who you are. You know what I'm saying? You have a story to tell.
Yeah.
Your brother has a story to tell. You know, and I got here a little later, but I didn't even know that.
Right? Yeah.
I didn't even know that. Oh. And that's wild, bro. And I want to commend you too, because that's something some people would want to shy away from, but you're embracing it.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know, that's something very, very beautiful. And
thank you.
props
Appreciate
to you,
that.
definitely, bro.
Yeah, appreciate it. For sure. Whenever like kind of that happened, whenever I did get burned and I was in the hospital for a week straight, it was like by far one of the toughest times mentally. And that's actually kind of why I started this podcast, is because I believe like every person just finds that deep strength inside them to say, you know what, I'm not going to shy away with this. I'm going to embrace it and just live every single day with a smile on my face.
Yeah. No, and we feel you. I know we're talking in the lobby. As far as for me, I have my little story too. I'm a junior, so I had everything handed to me. You know, so I experienced more of the bright lights, the cameras, you know, the lavish life, the dinners, and then, you know, to where we are now, you know, you as a fan, you question, okay, is he really hungry? He doesn't come for anything. We're competitors though. I hit the bag 3, 4, 5 combinations. He's gonna hit the bag 7, 8. And him, because he's the youngest, he's gonna hit 15, 20. You know, so it's like that competitive nature for us is what drives us. I remember our last fight. Me and Amado fought on the same card, and I was already like 4 pounds away from weight. Like I was like underweight, and Amado was like struggling with weight, and I just put plastics on with him just to be like, bro, we gonna knock these miles out. Like I'm right here with you. I didn't have to, you know what I'm saying? But that's my brother, and I'll do the same for him, and he'll do the same for me. So, and when we're in the locker rooms, we need each other. We're just like, all right, where's Emmy at? Like, where's Amado at?
And it's just, look, bro, we are very
amateurs.
This sport is very lonely. And when my brothers are there, it's just comfort. They go through the same hurt that I go through. My father has been in the place where we're already been, and you know, I'm 5-0, 7-0, 2-0. You know, I didn't have as much as the amateur experience. I had 42 fights as amateur, but I fought top people in the United States, and I've been ranked number 6 in the United States at 114. My brother beat top people. He should have went to the Olympics, and just we are really don't have the experience my younger brother has. But the pedigree of my father and the sparring that we have with world champions and just my dad really knows what he's doing, man. And I trust my dad with my whole entire career. So it's just a blessing to have brothers in the sport. It's a blessing to have my father, and just God is good, man. God is great, and I'm excited. Each fight that we step in the ring, we progress. You know, my last fight, I dropped the dude in the first round. And the second round, I tried coming in and tried brawling with this dude.
He's like, I'm getting this dude out of here.
And the dude ended up being
the
dude ended up being real tough. And my dad said, Amado, you're not gonna win. You're not gonna knock him out. If you brawl with this guy, it could go either or. And my dad said in Spanish, Amado, primero inteligente y luego valiente. That means be smart first and then be violent. So
be smart first, then be brave.
And just, you know, my dad told me that, and if I wouldn't have done that, I won the fight easy by just boxing him. But you know,
you make things harder.
And it's all about learning. Like I'm learning on the job, and I'm you know, we've always been athletic, but I love this sport with all my heart, and I love doing it.
But we know we got targets on our back too, though. Yeah. I carry my dad's first and last name. We all carry Vargas. So even world champions, when they're sparring with us,
Fernando too.
Yeah. When all the world champions, when they're sparring with us, they feel like they're getting, you know, they got something to prove, and we're like, okay, you know. So it's just that's what it comes with.
Yeah, you brought up a super interesting point, like carrying your dad's last name. Do you guys ever feel like any pressure out in a fight that like, just like the standards that not your dad has set, but like his name is set?
I mean, look, that's gonna carry with us for the rest of our lives.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Regardless, whatever it is, and I truly believe at the end of the day, I know I made it when they go, that's Emiliano Vargas' dad. You know what I'm saying? No, that's my goal though. That's, you know, my dad wrote a tremendous story, and now he's writing an even more tremendous story. This is a movie.
Yeah,
this is think about it. A world champion father, he did his thing, Olympics, you know, fought
youngest
with the
junior
best,
middleweight champion,
youngest national champion, youngest junior middleweight champion of the world, youngest Olympian,
three-time world champion.
Love this just man. You know what I'm saying? Hall of Famer. It's a story, Hall of Famer, Hall of Famer. But what I'm saying is, to have his sons do it,
he gets choked up,
and not just that. You know, I mean, I feel like we're pretty good at what we do. You know what I'm saying?